Among those calling for a public inquiry is the Ramadan Foundation. The group's chairman, Mohammed Umar, joins us from our studio in Manchester. Good evening to you.
Good evening to you.
Why do you want a public inquiry?
Not only do we want a public inquiry, but we demand a public inquiry because we were told by this government and by the intelligence service that they had no idea that these people would have committed the terrorist activities that they committed. Now we are learning later on that there was a connection, that individuals did meet each other, and we find it very bad that this government once again hasn't taken the initiative of doing something to help the victims survive from this evil story that's come out in the media now.
Do you think then the July 7th bombings could have been prevented?
I think if we reflect upon everything, if we reflect upon the past, we believe that we could stop a lot of things. I'm not generally saying that it could have been prevented, yes, ultimately, but it's actually happened. Now we have to look at the reasons why it happened. We have to look at how we can prevent something like this happening again. If the intelligence service, with all the money it has from from central government, was unable to do something to prevent something like this, I'm very optimistic that in the future something very worse may happen, and that is why we are calling upon the Muslim community at large to stay calm, to begin to interact into society, not to have assimilation, to integrate, i.e. not have assimilation, to become better human beings, to speak to each other, to speak to individual imams. And if we said very clearly, if any of the Muslims are watching this, if anybody sees any individual acting suspicious or doing anything which is illegal, then it is an Islamic duty upon every person or that person to report such activities to the police and to the authorities.
Are there any indications that those sorts of things are happening, that things are changing?
I mean, yes, the Muslims generally in the UK have woken up after the 7th of July. Unfortunately, it's a bad time to wake up. We wish it could have been under better circumstances, but they've actually woken up. Muslim leaders are taking more leadership, they're doing more, they're being more proactive. We are saying to the Muslim community, yes, there is a lot of issues which are unfair. We have a lot of anger and frustration amongst our young Muslims, our youth in up and down the UK. But what we are saying to them, the Muslim youngsters of this country, is yes, we know you have frustration, we know you have anger, and you have a right to have that anger. But what we are saying is you must direct that frustration and anger in the right direction of lobbying your MP, of learning and becoming better human beings. Islam is totally against any form of terrorist activities or the killing of any innocent civilians, and we cannot allow these minorities, who aren't even a minority, it will insult us to even call them a minority, to allow such people to try to take the microphone away from the majority. So at the same time, the Muslims need to take responsibility of doing more, and at the same time the government needs to do more in helping the Muslims to deal with this issue. It's a two-way road of working with each other.
All right.
At the same time, the government needs to do more in helping the Muslims to deal with this issue. It's a two-way road of working with each other.
All right, Mohammed Umar from the Ramadan Foundation, thank you very much for talking to us.
Thank you very much.